Don't you think it's amazing to see the transformation of some bags of flour, milk, yeast and other ingredients to a mountain of dough and plaques of butter and eventually to these thin layers? You know, when I learned to make croissants in the first serious place where I made hundreds of them every day, I thought, okay, I got it, I know the way. But since I moved around, I saw slightly different lamination variations. And guess what? All these slightly different lamination methods work. So today we're gonna see some examples from my experience of how bakers laminate their croissant dough. Let's start with a huge bakery and a big lamination machine. Every croissant lamination starts with butter preparation. So we take 2 of 1 kilogram plaques and pass through the sheeter so it becomes more pliable. So since the sheeter is quite long, we are able to make around 7 kilograms of dough. That means we can put 2 plaques of butter straight away. I know, it looks huge and heavy, but it saves time. So we kind of sandwich the dough and butter and start passing very carefully. Then we trim the ends where you don't see any butter. We save the dough scraps and do the book fold. As you see, we waste barely anything as we cut uneven sides in order to join nicely 2 ends. Those bigger of course have a nice layer, so we put them in the middle in one straight line and close. We leave this dough to rest in the freezer for around 15-20 minutes and do the single fold. Here we only cut uneven sides. Cut another side completely straight and place it in the middle. Then we close nicely without any empty gaps, and that is it. We are ready to chill before the final cutting. Here we see the dough sheet which has been flattened a day ago. Butter was also prepared yesterday, so before laminating, we take the butter plaques out so it comes back to room temperature. We never ever laminate croissant with cold butter. So we cut the dough in half and place it on top of butter. So here instead of book and single, we do 3 single folds. We trim the sides, check if we see butter dough layers and arrange nicely in one straight line. Then we close and straight away we do another single fold. So repeating the exercise as before, and we leave it to rest. Then we come back to the dough and do a final 3rd fold. As you see, the dough has hardened significantly as we kept it in the freezer for around 30 minutes depending on how hot the kitchen is and how soft the dough gets. The method of putting not straight dough trimmings inside saves us from thinking what to do with the remaining trimmings. So in the end, we almost have nothing to waste. Let's move to a bakery where pastry sheeter is quite small, so because of that we have a lot of smaller doughs to laminate. Here we flatten 2 butter plaques at the same time, but we use 1 plaque for around 3 kilograms of dough. So we flatten the dough to a double size of butter. Then we lock the butter. Flattening the dough and cutting uneven sides. As you see, the offcuts are quite big and they are not used in the middle as before. These trimmings will be used for another pastries. So, book fold done, let's pass the dough again, cut the trimmings and do a single fold. Done. We rest it in the freezer until nice and cold. Let's move to a bakery where the same method is applied, but there is one slight difference. The butter was prepared yesterday and taken out today, so we flattened the dough to double size of butter. Cut the sides straight away and place on top of the butter. Then we're passing through the machine's wheel and cutting parts where we don't see any layers of butter. Then book fold and we are passing again. This time we do a single fold. After that, flatten just a bit more and we are leaving to rest. As you see, those two different places apply the same method, book and single fold. But I think it's nice to relax the dough by cutting the sides. Or there is not that common way to cover 2/3 of the dough with a wider block of butter. It also works, but don't forget to slice the side of the dough as it helps to relax the dough and it's easier to laminate. So this is a very quick lamination demo. I left the dough in the fridge for around 1 hour after each turn as it was very warm in the kitchen. Basically, if you give enough time to rest and butter doesn't melt into the dough, you can still achieve a nice honeycomb structure in your croissants. Hope you didn't get too hungry. Thank you for watching and see you next week.